Hey y'all, I'm trying to get this set up. Let me know if you can hear me. It sounds kind of funny. All right, so thank you for joining. So today what I'm going to talk about is it's hard to break free from dysfunctional family members, and I'm going to explain why that is. Hey y'all. Okay, well good. All right, I put my computer on, so now at least I know that I can hear it. So as you're coming in, if you hear anything that resonates with you, feel free to comment down below, and also don't forget to like this video. And I hope you're having a good Monday. So the reason why I thought about this topic is because I watched this movie, and it's Tyler Perry's movie, so this may be a bit of a spoiler for you if you've not already seen it. It's his newest movie. It's on Netflix. And also I was reading this book, and it was dealing with these family members who had done some crazy stuff to these decent people. And it was like these people were oblivious to how crazy their family members was until it was like one person, it was just too late, and another person almost lost their life because they could not see the red flags with the family members. So I want to go ahead and get into this. Hey, how you doing? What's up? So one of the reasons why it's so hard to separate from dysfunctional families is because you've known them your whole life. We've grown up hearing that blood is thicker than water, that family is all you have. And especially if you come up and you had dysfunction in your life when you were a little child. You may have seen other people around you, their families loving on their kids and treating them well with respect, like they're a human instead of some type of little cheap little property. And you may have blamed yourself, like wondering what was wrong with you. Was something wrong with you? Like, because you couldn't understand, excuse me, the allergies kicking in. Hey Evelyn, thank you for joining. So you probably couldn't understand, like, why the little kids maybe were around you, or other people around you, why did they seem to, a lot of them maybe seem to have better relationships than you had with your family. So I know, at least with me, it was a lot of that blame, like, is something wrong with me? I thought that for years, like maybe I'm defective. The reason being is because who wants to believe, that a parent or an aunt or whoever it is in your family, a cousin, that they don't love you, that they don't respect you? We weren't grown up with that. At least the people I know, it was always like, oh, your family wants the best for you. They love you. They care for you. They do this, and this. Things could have been worse for you. But the truth is that sometimes people don't want to address that elephant in the room. Is just because a person birthed you or shares the same bloodline as you, that does not mean that that person loves you. It doesn't mean that they even like you. It doesn't mean that they respect you. Now, in a perfect world, your parents, your family members, they would love you. They would want to see the best for you. They wouldn't be jealous of you. They wouldn't be competing with you. They wouldn't rejoice when bad things happen to you. They would try to find out what your gifts and talents are and try to boost you up and put you in the best situations. Hey Camille, thank you for joining. But that's not always how it is. And then when we don't see those kind of things, we're like, well, what's wrong? What's wrong? And that's to be expected. There's nothing wrong with you because you had a hard time separating from your family. Even if you're still dealing with abusive family members, it's not something wrong with you that you stay, because in this society, they teach us these things. People get shamed for leaving, these abusive relationships. So that's why people may endure some things in their family relationships that they wouldn't even tolerate out of a co-worker, boyfriend, girlfriend. They wouldn't tolerate it. But it's like these issues that cause us to stay stuck, for a long time, when we're trying to figure out how to get out of these dysfunctional families. And this is why I tell people, especially if they're younger, if they broke free, like, wow, I want them to understand, and I'm talking to you, if you're a person that had a dysfunctional family and you were able to break free at a younger age in your 20s, that is such a great accomplishment, because a lot of us late 30s, mid 30s, 40s, 50s, I even have people on my channel who tell me they weren't able to break free until like 60 something years old. And people that are young, I know when they hear it, it's like, oh my God, I know you're saying I should be happy and lucky, but it still hurts. I'm not saying it don't hurt. I'm just saying that you're at a more, I guess, what is it, advantageous spot that you can start working on yourself, seeing these red flags, getting the help you need, whether it's from therapy, whether it's from self-help books, whatever it is, to build yourself up so you can start healing. Because a lot of us went through a lot of hell and turmoil, and we're still trying to dust that I don't know, generational curses, that whatever was going on with us, we were still trying to deal with that stuff, you know, years and years later. But you have a better chance, the younger that you realize this, the you can start on your healing earlier. I'm not saying that to discourage people that are older, because I'm older myself, because it's never too late to break free of a dysfunctional relationship. You know, sometimes I get in a comment section that people, they feel like they've been with their abusive parent until they were 50 or 60, so they should just stay there. And it's like, no, you don't have to stay there. That is a choice. You can always break free, no matter what society tells you to do. It's when you realize that this relationship, there's something wrong, and you start doing your research, you're going online and you're learning about narcissism, maybe you're reading books about narcissism. It's never too late to break free of that. So to go back what I was saying about one of the reasons why it's so hard, let's see, Camille says, I finally broke free at 50. Yes, I wish I could have learned earlier. Right. I mean, I totally believe that, and I congratulate you on that, Camille, because that's not easy, breaking free from these families. I wish I would have learned too earlier, but you know, even though I didn't, I'm still thankful that I still have today and each day to move forward to make progress in my life. You know what I'm saying? Because yeah, it would have been great if I could have done it at 21, but I wasn't at that place. I was so broken down, what spiritually, psychologically, that I wasn't able to do it. So it's like, yeah, we tolerate a lot of misuse and abuse, and it's like, yeah, but the thing is that I can say now is that even though all the hell that I endured, it helped me to be a stronger person. You know what I'm saying? Because now some of the stuff that I tolerated back in my 20s wouldn't even go down now that I'm about to be 44 next month. What do you do when they keep popping up to your house? When people keep popping up to your house and you don't want them there, don't answer the door. That'll teach them, because the thing is you got to say, what are you saying to them if you open the door and you let go of your boundaries? You're saying that you don't respect your boundaries. You know, if I can pop up at your house and I'm not supposed to be there and you let me in, what that tells me is that, oh, this person don't really mean that. They're a pushover. If I come over and can do what I want to do, stay as long as I want, then maybe I'm going to do that, because what this person going to do. So don't answer the door. That's what I would say. Let's see. Let me look at the comments. Oh, my mother tried. I let her right out of there. Yeah. It's like, don't answer the door. That's the only thing I could say. Also, so of course that when these family members, we want to think, like I said, that they want the best for us. You're welcome. That who wants to believe that their mother or their father really is corrupt? Who wants to believe that their parents don't love you or don't even like you? You know, and that's where the crazy making piece comes in, because we start ignoring what we see right in front of us. You know, a person can have a parent that's beating on them, spitting in their face, talking about them crazy in their face, backbiting, gossiping, calling them crazy, doing all kind of stuff. And then because we're so thinking that, oh, this is supposed to, let's say for instance, this is a father. And the person that's being abused is thinking like, oh, well, you know, this is my father. I'm assuming, you know, he means well. You know, other people are telling me that he really loves me. And we start, I guess, gaslighting ourselves. We don't look at the reality. Because it's like, wow, if this person wasn't your father, would you still stay around this person if he wasn't a family member? If this wasn't a cousin sleeping with your boyfriend or your girlfriend behind your back and you find out about it, talking about you dirty, taking money from you, borrowing stuff and don't ever give it back, don't ever pay you the money back. If these people didn't have title or family, would you really be around them? And this is what I try to ask myself. I don't get so caught up into what society tells me about family, blood is thicker than water, and do you only get one family? Forget that. Now, if these are people that are actually good in your life, of course keep these people around. If these people really have your back, of maybe blood may be thicker than water, but I'm not just gonna say that and I don't see that in my reality. You know, if these people, can you go, if you need something, are they going to be there for you? Are they going to help you? Or are these people going to talk bad about you? Oh, I knew she couldn't make it. I knew he was going to be nothing. I knew he was going to be like his trifling daddy. Just gossiping and all types of evil stuff that I have seen with a lot of different families, and people think that that's okay, you know. But then when and then it's hard because it's like, especially if you got an aunt like that or your cousins, you know, you want to keep on telling yourself, and this is where you get in trouble. It's because if the person is like, oh, well, my aunt, you know, I'm sure deep down, if she didn't have a drinking problem, or if my uncle, if they didn't have this problem, a drug problem, I'm sure they would be better. It's like we give these people chance after chance, and this is what is so crazy in this, those of us who deal with this in the community. And please, if you have not already liked this video, go ahead and like this video as you're coming in, if this information is resonating with you, and then also share the video. Thank you. It was very worth it. My peace is everything to me. Yeah, it's like, why are we staying around in these relationships? You know, everybody's saying to you about your toxic aunt. Oh, she means well. Oh, you know, she just do drugs and she this way and she that way. It's always these excuses being made for these nasty relatives, and it's like people aren't calling them out. They are allowed to be as toxic as they want to be, you know, for years and years. You know, you go around to a family function and then you try to have a good time, and especially if you're the scapegoat in that family, the toxic people, it's like they always coming for you, and don't nobody want to say nothing to them. Don't nobody say, auntie, shut the hell up. Go get you some counseling, auntie. Don't nobody want to say, auntie, it's time for you to put that bottle down and get off the drink, auntie. Auntie, for 20, 30 years, you've been going off on people and making them feel uncomfortable, auntie. Time to shut up, auntie. Oh, because the elder in the family gonna take you to the side and smack the hell out of you if you don't leave folk alone. But see, ain't nobody gonna say that to them. They gonna let them be as nasty and wicked as they want to be. Oh, they gonna talk about them behind their back when it's a smaller group of people. But if you the bold one, or you just fed up and you sick of that toxic auntie at the family function trying to come for you all the time, and you finally stand up because you like, I'm not about to be the scapegoat at this holiday party. I'm gonna sit up here and say something because everybody else want to act like they don't see this craziness that she doing. As soon as you said, people want to shh. They want to put all that, they want to get real moral when you say something. It's like they want to start telling you, oh, you got to respect your elders. Oh, you know how she is. Now that's right there. That you know your family toxic if they start saying that. Oh, you know how this person is. You know, I was always told that. You know, I was especially, yes, definitely in denial, Camille. As soon, I would barely stand up for myself, but as soon as I would, there were always somebody coming around talking about, you know how somebody is. That lets you know that the family is toxic when they use that. That saying. Good Life says they attacked me for years, then when I kept my distance, now they say think I'm better than them. Right. And if your family is as toxic as you say, you guess what? You are better than them. So it may seem like an insult, but guess what? You are better than them. Because if you the one that want to stand up and say, look, life is too short. I'm not going to be around this. My thing is, I have more respect for families that people create on their own. Just because we blood don't mean nothing, because I used to think that, oh, because we're blood, I'm riding hard for people. And then you find out you riding for these people, you would fight for these people, you may die for these people, you would give your last for these people. If they needed a place to stay, you would help these people. But then you find out these people, they ain't liking you like that. They ain't with you like that. And you're like, oh, but an auntie is supposed to take you in if you ain't got nowhere to go. Or a father is supposed to love his kids. See, that supposed to thinking will get you in trouble every time. You said, I wish I would have kept my kids away from toxic mother. I learned, though, I don't allow her around my grandkids. Right. Sometimes you have to do that, you know. It's to not allow these people around them. Forget if it's grandma. Forget if it's their granddad. We have to protect the minds, you know, of the kids. I don't have kids, but if you have kids, if you know somebody is nasty or toxic, we have to keep them away. Because look at how some of us turned out. The amount of money you spent on therapy, the amount of money you had to spend on getting books to help you heal, the amount of massages you had to get, the amount of money that you had to give your primary care physician because you thought that you had bodily problems because something was wrong with you, and you find out they running tests on you and they're telling you ain't nothing wrong with you. They can't find anything, and you don't realize that it has something to do with the hell, the trauma you went through, and your body is screaming out to you, stop going around these people, stop putting up with this crap. I'm giving you heart problems. I've given you high blood pressure. I've given you diabetes. I've given you cancer. And all this stuff, the body is screaming out, stop. But our mind is the problem. We're like, oh no, that's my cousin. That's my little cousin. That's my big cousin. I can't put them away from me. Like this book I was reading, I forgot the name of the book. It was this cousin who would come around, and it was two cousins. One cousin had a bakery or something like that, and she was doing good. She had the bakery for like 3 years. Her cousin, who was supposed to be a close cousin, lived in the same city, not far away, had never come in 3 years to come see this bakery. And finally, when she did come, she kept on saying, oh, your little bakery. Oh, your food don't taste like Starbucks. I'm not going to eat the muffin, your little muffin I got from you. I'm going to go to Starbucks. You know what I'm saying? And then it's like the person who had the bakery was telling another friend the reason she put up with this cousin because a grandmother said how important family is, and family has to stick together, and they were once close, the two cousins, and they should still be close. And it's like we let people get in our heads and we live miserable lives because of what other people's expectations. Life could have been different when grandma was around. You know what I'm saying? Maybe grandma had a different experience with family members. Maybe family members were supportive. Maybe the family members were helping one another, supporting businesses and things like that. But you have to look at your own life and see, is what grandma said, is that applicable to me today? Because grandma told me, and I'm talking about this book, her grandmother told her that family was all she had, but the family members weren't coming to support her business. In 3 years, they didn't came and bought 1 cup of coffee, but they was at Starbucks every time she looked around. You know, no. And grandma she had, the woman in the book made her grandmother have rest in peace. But how somebody dead gonna tell the living how they should be living today? Because the family dynamic apparently had totally changed since grandma was dead, right? And that's where it comes in. We got to trust our own instincts. And it's like, you can call it the instincts, the Holy Spirit, God, whatever it is, and it speaks to us and lets us know that something is wrong. It's like people be forcing themselves with holidays, don't knowing good and well that when they go over these family members' house, people all up in their business, got their face all scrunched up, turned up at them, talking crazy to them, talking crazy to their kids. They dread going to these functions, but then they're like, oh, I gotta go, I gotta go. How you gotta go somewhere and you grown? The thing that lets you know that you shouldn't be going is because you feel down about it. See, and this is like we totally disregard how we're feeling. You know, you feel upset about it. You getting depressed the nearer the holiday comes. You know, you're dreading it. You're telling anybody that'll listen about how horrible your family is, and you gotta go because if you don't, they're going to say this, they're going to do that. Of course, they're going to talk bad about you and try to make you feel if you don't come. You're the butt of their jokes. Why wouldn't they want you around so they can make you feel like crap, so they can feel better about themselves? So, yeah, they're going to be upset that you don't come. And this is the thing, another reason why it makes it so hard, because these toxic people, they thrive in these families because they're smarter when it comes to manipulation. And what I mean by that is they know that people, some people want to be good, especially if you're a scapegoat. You probably want to be liked by other people. You probably, to the point that you disregard your own instincts. You ignore red flags. Your uncle could have been stealing your games, stealing everything in your house. You go to the restroom, you can't leave your purse around him because he'll steal your purse, steal your car keys. You know, he'll go in your cabinets and steal your Percocets. Well, I mean, whatever it is, you know this about them, but because they're family, you keep disregarding this forgiveness doctrine. People, whoa, they're my family, I gotta forgive, I gotta forgive, I gotta forgive. Ain't nobody even asked you to forgive. They ain't even apologize to you. They don't even acknowledge that they're doing anything wrong to you. They keep on doing it, and then you're like, I gotta forgive, I gotta forgive. Forgive what? They ain't even asked. They don't, they deny it, that they've done anything. So what is it exactly that you're forgiving? Of course, I don't believe in holding resentment and bitterness in my heart to the point it's eating me up, or that I'm having other areas of my life is not productive because I'm holding on to bitterness. Now, that I believe that we should release, but forgiveness is like, did they ask? Have they acknowledged any wrongdoing? Uncle still stealing from you, ain't he? You can't even let him in your house. He'll steal your dang on cup of water if you don't let him. Let me take a sip of water. How long he been on crack and heroin and still doing the same stuff, and people just keep acting like they, you know, like, oh, well, that's my uncle. Oh, okay, so because it's your uncle, it's okay that he abuse you if you say so. Yeah, they don't acknowledge, but they know they're mistreating you. Exactly, they know they're mistreating you, and I'm happy you said that because that gets me back to where I'm at. Go ahead, make sure to like this video if you're coming in, if this resonates with you. Don't just sit here and watch me and take in my knowledge and take your notes and stuff and don't give me a thumbs up. Make sure you share this video if it resonates with you. You want to book a session with me, that's in the description. You want to support on the super chat. I am monetized now, guys. If you all don't know, you can send me a super chat, or my Cash App is in the description, $TellSamyra. So yeah, the thing is they exactly know what they're doing, and these are predators. This is why they want, when you go, if you go to one of the predators about the other predator in the family, they gonna act like they don't know what's going on. They the first one to tell you that dumb stuff. Blood thicker than water. You gotta forgive. Don't hold no grudge. But ask yourself, why are they telling you that? Oh, maybe they're a predator and maybe they're using you and getting over on you, and they don't want you to be smart, because if you start to get smart and understand what red flags is, knowing that your family is gaslighting you, you're going to open your eyes to the point that you're not going to let anybody in your family get over on you and do no crazy stuff. So of course the predators in your family gonna protect the other predators. You think they all don't know that they're predators? Yes, they know. Why? Because they're smarter than you regarding manipulation. These people know what they're doing. I used to sit around and wonder, like, why do the toxic people at the family functions, they all in a circle together, gossiping and pointing at other people and talking about this one and backbiting against this one and got their head all up in the air. 4, 5, 3 different baby daddies, and they talking about everybody else that's walking past. And it's like, how you talking about somebody? And this is what they do. And they all flock together. Why? Because their spirits recognize one another. They know who they are. The drug heads, the alcoholics, the thieves, the gossips, they recognize each other. And they pretending around you like they don't know. And this is why you may ask yourself, another reason why it's so hard to leave, because when you go to another family member, they want to shh. They don't want you to talk about it. Why? Because they know some of them is predators. So of course they don't want you to start exposing nothing. And then some people, they just want to do this illusion. Some people want to be seen a certain way in public. So if you start outing the family and saying these people is freaking scandalous, these are vultures, wolves in sheep's clothing. You know, these are some wicked freaking people. That the ones that want to put on that good show in front of the neighbors, in front of the extended friends and things like that. They want you to shut up because they want to act like your family is put together. You all are well distinguished. Everyone is doing well. You all are healthy, are vibrant. You're what a family should be. A black family, white family, Hispanic, whatever you are, Indian family. They want you to pretend to play this role as if you were something. Like for instance, when I would go with my mother to her friend's house, the people she worked with in the mill, and a lot of these people were white people, and they didn't live in the same city. So we would go to like Illinois, or we would sometimes go to a suburb in Indiana where they stayed. And thank you so much, Camille, for the super chat. You're my first super chat. Thank you. This is the first one I've ever gotten, y'all. I'm excited. So thank you for the $4.99. I appreciate you. So I would get these talks before we go. Like, oh, you got to pretend that you're still Catholic. Oh, don't say this and that. Oh, you got to say this. Oh, pretend your little sister is going to be baptized soon. It was all these little airs that we would have, you know, that is expected of when you go out. And it's like, no, but you can't tell the truth. Oh, I can't, oh, but I got to tell them these lies about being Catholic, but I can't say how you treat us when you treat me like crap when we're in front of most people. But when we get around, we're not around anyone, it's even worse than what you do in front of other people. Oh, I can't tell them that. Oh, no, shh. We're supposed to be quiet about that. And then some of them, and this is the crazy thing here, is that I used to think that some of these people in the family that didn't know, you know, what was going on in these dysfunctional families. But the more I hear other people's stories, the more I reflect back on other things, is that these other people, they do know. And I won't hold it against them, because it can be hard stepping into telling somebody how they should raise their kids, especially in certain cultures. Everybody not going for that. So really, how much are you going to do? And especially the way the laws are in places, like it's hard to prove verbal abuse, emotional abuse. It's hard to prove that. It's easier to prove physical abuse. If there's like open wounds, black eyes, things like that, or neglect. If the child protective service, whatever you call it in your city or your state, they show up and then there's no food in the refrigerators, in the cabinets, or nothing like that, then they may do something. But emotional abuse is very hard to prove, you know. And so sometimes people are just going to mind their own business. And it's like those people that decide to mind their own business when it comes to the emotional abuse, it's like, okay, you minded your own business. I get that. I won't hold anything against you. But the thing is that my problem with those people is when they start talking when you start speaking up. They were quiet when they were seeing you being abused. Some of them were quiet even if they saw you being physically abused when you were coming up. And so it's like, my thing is, it's like I would used to justify myself. That thing about wanting to be liked and accepted by people. It's like, oh, well, let me tell you my side of the story. You got to hear my side of the story. The me today don't need you to hear my side of the story. Because I realize you're going to believe what you want to believe. And you also may be a predator too, as quiet as it's kept. Because the best predators know that to flourish in that predatory lifestyle, whatever you want to call it, is done behind closed doors. So I don't know these family members like that behind closed doors, so they could be predators themselves. So my thing is that if they were quiet when they saw you getting abused, they need to be quiet now that you're gonna speak up about it, you know. And I think it's appropriate to tell them that, like, uncle, cousin, whoever it is. Oh, you remember when you used to see me get beat? And you would turn your head the other way? Oh, you would see me get cussed out, said I was ugly, I was fat, I was undesirable, nobody want me, I'm just horrible, blah, 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 I'm dumb, I'm stupid, all it. Oh, remember you turned the other cheek when that was going on? Oh, now that I'm speaking up about it, shut up. Turn around and shut up. Be quiet like you was quiet then. Because now I got something to say. And I ain't going to be stifled. I'm going to keep talking. And you're going to shut up and bow down. Just like you bowed down when you saw the abuse. You turned the other way. So shut up now. Go on about your business. And let me talk my stuff. Because I'm going to talk it now. You know? Sometimes you got to tell these people that. Because all of a sudden, now they got so much to say. And then the crazy thing is they deny all the dysfunction that's going on in the family, but as soon as people start standing up and speaking out about the dysfunction, now they're the problem. How are they the problem? And here, these other abusers, they like to come out with the stuff, what's done in this house stays in this house. Who does that benefit? This is why I'm on that kick. Asking yourself, who does that benefit? If you shut up about it, that's going to benefit your dysfunctional family. So other people can continue to get abused and people just shut up and ignore it. Or so people can continue to get abused and then people pretend like it ain't going on just so it look good in the family. I mean, you know, so it look good to others. You said they will definitely triangulate you with your own children, and that's the point where it comes up to us to realize and break these cycles. Because if all of us just continue to go along with this dysfunction, how is it ever going to end if nobody starts standing up and say, look, mother and father talk crazy to me, they beat me, now they trying to do it to my children. Like, oh no, somebody has to stand up and say it ends with me. I am no longer going to put up with this. They talk to me crazy at family functions. I will not go to these functions. It says, yeah, keep your kids away. That poison will eventually get into them. Yes, it will. And then sometimes we wonder, like, why these kids are acting like other family members. Is it because we're putting them in these situations with these toxic people? And then we're praying to God that they won't be as messed up as we are? But it's like, just take a look at your life. What happened to you? What hell are you enduring now? Are you suffering from PTSD, anxiety, depression? Have you been suicidal? If so, why would you think that you can put your kids in that environment and then they come out unscathed? Just take a look at your own life. Look at the life of your other family members who were also the targeted scapegoats. How did these people turn out? You know, it's not all good. And another reason that it's so hard to leave these relationships is because we just can't believe it. We're like, well, this is my mom, this is my dad. They're supposed to love me, and this is what I think I was going earlier and I got off track. The thing is, I used to be that person. Well, this is supposed to be that way. They're supposed to be this way. But in all honesty, that's denying what is. Forget suppose. What is actually going on in the life what's going on in the life right now? I don't care what a mother or father is supposed to be. Who are they? If these people, if I met them on the street and they treated me the way that they treat me, would I stay? The aunt who may be stealing from you, If you met her walking down the street, she wasn't your aunt and she stole from you, would you stay with it? Would you allow this person to stay in your life? If the answer is no, why allow her to stay? Because she's your aunt. People, these toxic people, family members, they play upon that. They want you to stay. They want you to believe that family is all you have so they can get over on you. That is all a manipulation tactic, because they know you feel that family is everything. And so they're like, well, I'll just keep stealing from him or her, because like they say, if you find a fool, bump their head. And you're all like, oh no, but an uncle is supposed to be this way and we're supposed to hold each other up. But they stealing everything from you. They done stole your identity, took your credit card, stole your man. You caught him having sex with your husband or your wife or whatever, and you still holding on to him, hoping something's going to change. You've been around these people 20-something years and ain't nothing changed. They talk to you crazy in front of other people and just to you. You go around them and you feel bad about yourself. You know, you went around having high self-esteem. You left and you want to go jump off the nearest bridge because they treated you so bad at the family function. And it's like, why go around these people? Because the only thing it is, it just continues to show them that you don't value yourself, that you got low self-esteem. Because if you think about it, if you try to be toxic with these dysfunctional family members as they are toxic with you, do you really think they about to go for it? You talk to them crazy and bring up some of their personal stuff about their drug use, and watch they probably kick your tail all up and down that dang on house, cuss you out and go off on you. But you trying to tiptoe around them and be, oh, this is my sister, this is my this and that one. But you piss them off to a certain extent, and you gonna see they don't care about you like you care about them. Can anybody relate to that? Let's see, he says, I feel like I'm being watched around my home. I'm moving away from all my family. Hey, you got to do what you got to do to keep yourself safe, you know? And some of these, like I said, one of the reasons why it's hard to break free from these people, because we love these people. You know, just because when the relationship go bad, it don't mean that the relationship was always bad. So maybe it was something that you loved about these people. Maybe you were close to them at one point, but something changed. Whatever it is, that love is an emotion, and it'll make you stay around for some abuse if you don't see things for what it is. Like, forget the title this person got in my life: auntie, uncle, mother, father, brother, whatever, step brother. Forget the title and look at how these people are treating you. You know, like, imagine, I tell people when they're having hard times with family members and they're like, well, what should I do? And is this bad? I say, well, what do you think? How did you feel when such and such happened to you? That's your clue if it's bad or not. I can't tell you if it's bad. I can say it sounds bad, but how did you feel? That's the thing, is learning to trust ourselves. You know, I notice that people, especially being scapegoats, is so wanting other people to tell them how they should feel, how they should respond. But the truth is, can't nobody tell you how to feel. Your drunk auntie spit in your face. If you don't know how to feel, ask yourself this, and this is a tip. If this was a close friend of yours who told you that they auntie spit in their face, what would you tell them? If you can't trust your own thoughts, your own emotions, pretend that you know somebody that you love endured the same things that just happened to you. What would you tell them? Would you tell that person that they were wrong for feeling, being upset at the auntie to spit in their face? Pretend you got this best friend that you love, and he comes to you and says his crackhead uncle, or on drug Percocets, off the pills, whatever it is now, done stole his money again. Is he wrong for feeling bad? Now, pretend this is a friend you love. What would you tell your friend? You know, and if you would, whatever you would tell your friend, that should apply for you as well. You know, it's like, hey, because the thing is I think a lot of these dysfunctional family members, the reason why they never change is because they're not forced to change, because people make excuses for them. And not only that, is because the people that they're abusing in the family continue to come back around. So to them, it's like, oh, well, you're going to continue to be stupid and dumb and ignorant and ignoring all the red flags. Well, I'm going to continue to do you crazy. So this is why they're not going to change. If your uncle can come and sleep on your couch and eat all your food up, don't wash the dishes, take your car, don't put gas in it, got you driving them all around, you loaning your cousin money, they never pay you back and you keep loaning it to them, what reason do they have to change? It's just like I look at it with kids. If you don't put any consequences on kids, you don't enforce boundaries with kids, they're going to run around and do whatever they want to do because they've never been taught no. They've not been told that there's some things you can't do. They have not been taught that there's for every action, that there's a reaction. There has to be some type of negative consequence, some type of punishment to stop the bad behavior. And this is why I'm a big stickler for this. Like, I used to be the one back in the day, probably about over 10 years or something ago. You know, I would fly in from California and go to Gary, and the family members, you know, I had to spend the night at my mother's house around, you know, stuff like that, and around certain family members treat me like crap. And I spent like $400 on a plane ticket to go see these people. Now I look at it and like, dang, how dumb was I? Knowing good and well that history taught me over and over and over again that they were going to treat me like crap. But I was paying money to go see these people, talking about a family reunion or talking about just to go see them. But who was coming out here to see me in California? Nobody. You know what I'm saying? But I'm paying back to go to Gary. You know, and see some people that treat me like crap, and then I gotta pay for it. And then I wouldn't get no a rental car. Then I'm expecting them to take me around, and they looking at me like I'm an inconvenience and all this kind of stuff, and then treat you like crap. Then as soon as I come back, and then it's another year past, oh, when you coming home? When you coming back? I bet they was like, when you coming back so we can treat you like crap again and keep showing you that we don't care about you. And what I see about these family members, the thing is that I look back and I can see, like, I was really going hard for people, like remembering people's birthdays, buying them gifts on their birthdays. You want to know, some of these people, I was getting balloons or flowers and, oh, it's your birthday, calling, singing a song, making a big deal out of their birthdays. But who was doing that for me? I just get a dry text, oh, happy birthday, but on their birthday, I'm going all out. But that wasn't going on for me. And so the thing is that these people will manipulate you and to be acting like family is all that. But they know they lying. They don't mean that kind of stuff. Maybe with some certain family members, but if you a scapegoat of the family like I was, they mean family all that, but they mean minus you. Now let's talk about that, because you know what, and if you're honest with yourself, if you were the scapegoated one, you will see that some of these family members, they real close and clicked up and got each other's back. But when it came to you, they didn't have your back like that. See, they were playing the game on you, making you be stupid. You know what I'm saying? Like you thinking, oh, because they said family all you got, they was talking about all family members. No, they was talking about the family members that's like them. The family members that they picked and choose for whatever reason you don't even know. Because some of them had selected some to be golden child before some of them even came out the womb and decided to discard you or whatever. So yeah, they weren't all lying when they were saying that blood is thicker than water. They just meant not you. Because I look at families, and even with clients that I counsel, they'll tell me, oh yeah, my family, they do this and this for this one. But when I come around and ask them, they don't do it. They act like they ain't got it. I had clients in homeless shelters, and their other family members was staying with each other, but this person and their kids couldn't come, and they had to be at shelters, And then the family members would still be asking them for money, my clients for money, and my clients in a homeless shelter, and their family members got apartments and homes, but asking my homeless clients for money. You know, and my clients would be giving it to them, giving their mama, well, it's my mama. Oh, and I'm thinking, but your mama wouldn't even let you and your kids stay in their house, but not, they begging you for money while you in a homeless shelter, though. But that's your mama. But your trifling sister, who you saying giving your mama no money, living up in your mama house with her drunk boyfriend, and it's all good, and they barely even paying rent. But you and your kids had to sleep outside until y'all could find a homeless bed. So that's the stuff that I say you gotta look at that. How these people who you calling family and you will do so much for, but they treating you like crap. How they treating other people in the family? Are they treating everybody like crap, or is it just reserved for you and a few other family members that they decided that they don't like? You know. And this is why I said it's manipulation, because when they want to use you and want you to be at their beck and call, they want to throw around that, oh, well, we're family and we should be better and we should do this and you should help me and you should do this for me and you should forgive me even though I haven't asked you. And, you know, they're saying all this to get you to bend to their will. Hey, how you doing, BP? They're saying all this to get you to bend to their will. But where is all that family and that grace, that love and respect when it come to you? It don't exist. But when they need you, they want you to jump through the hoops and want to play that family card to manipulate you. That's not confusing. That's very clear behavior. Okay. I caught you live. Hey, how you doing? I'm happy you caught this live. Yeah. So yeah, and this is all the kind of crazy. This is all the kind of crazy stuff that goes on. And for me, and I see what you're saying, like it's not confusing, but I think it is. It's confusing to people if they're grown up with these messages that family is all you have, and that you should do this and this and this for family. You know, from Brazil, I appreciate you. If you should do this and this and this because of family, and because I've seen so many clients that have a hard time breaking free from this stuff, and it's like, I think what it is, especially when you've grown up with the abuse and you've especially been abused by multiple family members, that is crazy making. It can be confusing to try to see that this stuff is not normal. How they treat you. Oh, okay. All right. I see what you're saying, good life. And so with the Tyler Perry movie, and you may want to click off if you haven't seen it, but I'm not gonna go into all of it though. But this movie that I'm talking about, you know, the brother, one of the brothers, you know, he never liked his younger brother. Always mean to him, you know, ganging up on him. And the younger brother still, it's like it should have been obvious, like your brother don't like you. You know, he always mean to you, siding with the daddy when the daddy go off on you, putting you on the spot in front of other people. And they like to do that to make you embarrassed and all that kind of stuff like that. Yeah, you know, they do this kind of stuff. And then it's like obvious to everybody else looking like, okay, I know you telling me this is your brother and you love your family, but do your family love you? He always being mean to you. He ain't never got nothing to say. He jealous of you, obviously, always competing with you. Always think you trying to one-up him, but he really trying to one-up you. Like, if this was not your brother, would you actually be friends with this person? Do you even like this person? So like I said, the older brother was always tripping on the younger brother, you know? And then it got to the point that at the end, the older brother did something, I'll just say life-altering, in case you haven't saw the new Tyler Perry movie. Did something life-altering to his younger brother. And the younger brother, if he knew, he didn't ever find out that what his big brother did, but if he found out, he would have been shocked, like, not my brother, he's supposed to love me. He's my older brother. Here's that supposed to again. He's supposed to have my back. He was supposed to protect me. He was supposed to do all this. And it's like, see, this is where that supposed to would get you in trouble. Anybody who was a fly on the wall looking could have told this man, like, your brother don't like you. No, he treats you like an enemy. It's you who caught up on this family. Your brother don't give a dang on about you. You know what I'm saying? Tim Norman from Sweetie Pies hated his nephew so much he had him killed. Yes, and family, they will do that to you. You can physically be killed. You know, when people find out, sometimes rape victims, and it's been shown that they know these people. Sometimes it's family members. I've been reading some crazy books and movies about this family stuff. Is why this topic came up. But yeah, like this one book that I just finished, it's called, dang, what is the name of this book? It's by Tanisha Stewart. It's a it's a thriller. I can't remember the name right now, but anyway, it's on Amazon. Tanisha Stewart, it's an author. She got a lot of great books. She do Christian fiction and she do non-Christian fiction, like these thrillers that she's been doing. And this one person, transgender, it was transgender, I think, going from man to woman, no, from woman to man, but hadn't had the gender, the sex change yet. And she had a cousin. She thought they were cool. This cousin was the only one who understood that she wanted to become a man, and the other family members were shunning her. And the cousin ended up setting her up to get raped by not only the cousin, but 5 of the cousin's friends. You know, and so somebody may say, well, Samyra, that's just a book. But this stuff happens for real. You know, have you not ever been set up by your family members? You know, and these people, the reason why I say the corrupt ones are so slick, because they treat you like you just like a nobody. They don't care that you family only when it benefit them. It be us, the ones that be trying to, but this is my cousin, and it's like, but how many times can your cousin stab you in the back for you to understand that you feel something special about this person and they don't feel that special way about you? And then we get all confused when they do some crazy stuff to us, like, but how could they do this? They were supposed to be. And it's like the writing been on the wall for how many years? How many years have they done some crazy stuff to us? You know what I'm saying? And then even another reason what makes it so hard to break free from these family members, because then you may decide so much abuse has happened. You went to your family members. They have been no help for you. They told you to forgive and forget. They said, you know how your auntie, your uncle, and your cousin is, so just get over it and shut up. And now you try to go to your friends about it, and you try to tell your friends about it. And then you wonder why your friends, it's like they don't get it either. They gaslight you too. Oh, well, it's not that bad. Oh, it could be worse. I'm sure they mean well. Oh, every family is like that. And then you start looking at how they operate in their family, and you notice if somebody in their family do something crazy to them, one crazy thing, they cut them off. They don't go to the family functions if they know that person gonna be there. They do stuff to protect themselves, but then when you come to them and you looking for advice and you don't trust yourself, so you going to your friends to say, well, what would you do if your cousin did this to you? What would you do if your niece did this to you? And am I crazy? Is it okay if I break away from this family and stop going to these functions? Is it okay if I block them on social media and stop answering their calls if they call me and stop texting them back? You know, and then your friends, you think that they would have your back because they've had your back in other instances. But as soon as you go to this person about your friend, what I've seen is many of them, they're like, oh, you know, that's just how it is. You know, it's just family. That's how it go. You know how it is. But as soon as some family start doing crazy stuff to them, oh, they got all kind of boundaries that they enforcing. So what, they just want you to be dumb? I've ran across that. Let me see. Good Life says, just because you won't eat a lion don't mean a lion. Come on there, Good Life. We are here. I didn't know if you were understanding what I was saying, but I know you know. We there. Just because you won't eat a lion don't mean a lion won't eat you, right? And I used to say this to a friend. It was like, I noticed that every time because I didn't trust myself. Every time, and it just wasn't just with my family, but at work, I was having issues with people. It's like I was running into these freaking narcissists everywhere I went. You know, it was like these spirits, when I walked in the room, they knew it. Oh, here's Samyra. Let's turn up the narcissist degree from 6 to 100 or whatever. You know what I'm saying? And that used to be my reality, is running into all these narcissists. But when I started seeing this bad behavior, speaking up on it, setting boundaries and enforcing it, I started noticing that these narcissists wasn't having they little all they fun with me. Even supervisors, whatever, I say, forget these jobs. I'm gonna say what I'm gonna say. You think you about to be a narcissist with me? When it's only me and you talking, you want to say stuff that assassinate my character. But when we're around other people, you want to act like I'm the best thing since sliced bread and want to give me good evaluations. But it's just me and you want to say some opposite stuff. No, I'm gonna call you out. And as soon as I start calling them spirits out, they stop playing with me like that, because they know who to go after and stuff. And I had one who wanted to keep coming and saying, every time she would, I chop her. Oh, you said this. I didn't appreciate that, because to me that assassinated my character. This. And then they start changing their tune. Oh, Samyra, I like you because you know you speak up and you let me know. Yeah, hell, if I let you know, because you're not about to play go play narcissist with somebody else. Because they know how to turn that stuff off and turn it on, and that's why I really don't believe it's a mental illness, and that's why I go so hard against it. Because they turn it on for who they want to, who they know they gonna allow it. And they turn it off when they see that you're not about to be the little doormat that they can walk over, punk, and do all the kind of crazy stuff. Because they turn that little narcissist switch on and off, on and off, on and off. So yeah, so back when I wasn't trusting my own gut feelings about what was going on, I go to this one friend and I'm like, yeah, you know, this happened and this happened with this family member. And it was always telling me, oh, Samyra, you just making too much of it. Oh, it's nothing, Samyra. Oh, that's how every mother is, Samyra. And I'm like, and I wasn't bold enough at the time to call a friend out, but I was thinking, friend, you ain't never told me your mama did any of the stuff I just told you about my mama, and I've been knowing you over 20 years. You know, oh, and then I would be told, oh, you know, well, you know, you just gotta basically endure it, because that's how it is. So I was always being told by these so-called friends to endure this abuse. But when I started looking at their lives, they wasn't enduring this abuse that they were telling me. Oh no, they wasn't calling some certain family members. Oh, they weren't friends on social media with certain family members. Oh, they would decide that they weren't going to talk to a certain family member. But when it was me, I was supposed to endure all this abuse. Oh, they're getting divorced from somebody. And it's like, wait a minute, you're getting divorced? And I know the parent relationship is different, but just follow me. You're telling me that I need to stay with my abusive family members and endure this. But as soon as your husband wants to be abusive for a year, and I've been enduring the abuse since age 5, and I was like 30 something at the time. It's like, I'm supposed to endure it for all those years, but as soon as your husband get abusive with you, all of a sudden you ready to file for divorce. Where is your forgiveness? If you know, they telling me to forgive, why you ain't gonna forgive your husband? Why you gonna leave him? I should, if I had the mind I had now, I'd have messed that individual up. I'd have said, well, you should forgive him. You married him, right? Well, you didn't trust his ability to lead. Well, that's on you. All husbands are like that. Well, shouldn't you submit to him and just forgive his online indiscretions? You're not holding in unforgiveness in your heart, are you? What happened to forgive and forgive? Didn't you say that you were Christian and that you shouldn't be divorced? Well, shouldn't you endure whatever's going on and pray and fast and just hope that God's just changed your little husband's little heart? Sister, where's your forgiveness? Men are going to be men, honey. You see, they do all this crazy. They do all this crazy stuff, right? They want to, and I don't know what it is. Do they get a kick out of seeing you being abused? You know what I'm saying? Am I the only one that experienced this? You know, they want to see you abused, but honey, they not gonna tolerate. You may be tolerating this much abuse, right? But you look at these people who tell you that you should endure and see how much abuse they tolerate. None. I've had some other family members even tell me that too. Oh, you forgive your mom and do this with your mom and do that with your mom. Then you turn around and find out it's some family members that they don't speak to, that they ignore and won't call back. Oh, but they not gonna tell you that when they telling you to endure the abuse. But they not gonna do it. Oh, so you want to put you, what is it? I don't know. You want to put a boulder or something on my back that you won't even carry on your own back. Oh, you want to boast that you got me to forgive and endure for the sake of the family, but you won't even do what you telling me to do. But you want to boast because you got me to pretend that everything is all good. But that's the thing, though. I'm not, and that's why I'm not going to pretend anymore. You know, I'm matching the energy now. It's like if people don't call me for my birthday, their family, I'm not calling them for theirs. Because I would see these same ones, like I said, I was going overboard for people's birthdays and stuff. Like I said, they wouldn't remember my birthday, but I started watching people. And I see their friends, their best friends, certain family members, guess what? They remembered their birthdays, and when it was, oh, turn up, give me some drinks, let's party. But when Samyra's birthday came around, none of that was being done. Or I'm the one reaching out to people. I was reaching out to people, calling, how you doing? How your kid doing? What's going on in your life? Are you okay? Let's get together. Let's do this. Let's do. What? And then when I stop doing that, I guess what? The phone calls dried up for years. Why? Because I was putting this expectation on these people that these were my family. We were once close, or we're close. We should be close. We should be reaching out. We should be making efforts. But guess what? My shoulds and projections of what I thought family should be was not what other people had in their minds for family. And that was wrong on me because, like I said, the writing was on the wall. It was clear that these people weren't reaching out. They weren't celebrating me like I was celebrating them. These people weren't doing for me. They didn't have the same energy for me. When they come around me, I'm actually happy. Oh my God, yes, I miss you. They weren't like that for me. But when other family members or their best friends or whatever, a boyfriend would come around, they were like that for them. Smiling, they'd even reach the eyes. So much joy and so much life. And I had just had to accept. And it's like, it's not holding a bad thing about them. They just had to accept that sometimes relationships change. Sometimes these people just don't care about you the way you care about them. Let's see. BP says, sis, I'm a lawyer, though out of the business. You made an awesome lawyer. Your line of thought and argument deconstruction is gold. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Well, I'm telling you, and I mean, at a certain point, I just had to look back and see, like, oh my God, I had spent years of giving my life and energy over to people who wouldn't do a thing for me. And some of these people, like they say, even the family, it could even be funny with people, the ones that they like. You know, you go around these people, you would hope that these people would fight for you, would kill for you if it came to it, you know. I ain't talking about over some frivolous stuff, but I just started seeing that, wow, and all these get-togethers and people talking about, this my family, I love my family. But when something would happen, and of course I'm not talking about all families, but I won't go into too much of what this was, but a golden child of the family had gotten into a bad situation, and the mate had put hands on a golden child. in the in my family, not my larger family, I'll say. And the person who was going hard for the golden child, and I heard about it, I'm far away, right? And I'm like not the golden one of anyone's, you know. But anyway, I'm like, oh my God, he put hands, not that I thought they were gonna kill him. But I thought something would be done, you know, like get on your Carrie Underwood and go get a Louisville slugger and slug his car. I mean, something, get a gun, BB gun from Walmart and shoot him. I thought something was going to happen about the golden child. And when nothing happened, it showed me like, wow. So even in this dysfunctional family, the golden one is not even protected. And I was happy that I wasn't around, because just me, and I'm very like not like this outgoing like fighting type person, I'm not. But I was thinking like, wow, I wonder what I would have done if I were around, because I'm like, to me, that's embarrassing. Like, you put hands on my freaking family member and you think that's gonna be sweet? That's just what I was thinking. But I have to think about it, like, but why do I even care? Because that golden individual don't like me. You know, I had spent years and years trying to get this person to like me, doing stuff for this person and celebrating this person, but none of it was ever reciprocated on me. And I was very upset and very angry and wanted to do something. And I had to slow myself down and say, wait, Samyra, why do you care? Because if the shoe was on the other foot, you think that person would have did something for you? You think that person would have lost some sleep over you? You think that person would have risked jail over you? And I had to say to myself, no. That person don't even care about my dang birthday. So why would they care if somebody beat me up and cut me and throw me on the side of the road or something like that? I'm just saying. They wouldn't have. And I had to look at myself and say, that's what, and I thought about that and I said, I'm not going hard for people who won't go hard for me. I don't care, let them be family, let them be whoever and ever, because my thing is now is that, and some people get upset when I say this, and who cares? I could care less about family. You know what I'm saying? What I care about is people who care about me. People that celebrate me. That's who I celebrate, unless it's really tugging at my heart to do something for somebody. And sometimes that don't happen. First, do something for somebody who can't do nothing for me without expecting anything back in return. If I feel that that's a tug on my heart, I may feel God-led or whatever you call it, God-led, to do that, then I'll do it. So I'm not saying that I'm always expecting something, but I'm saying for people that's every day in my life, yeah, it's nothing wrong with wanting some reciprocity. You know, and sometimes manipulators will make you feel bad, like you shouldn't want nothing in return. That's because they using you, and they want you not to want anything in return while they get everything from you. That's your manipulation 101. But I'm saying, what do I care about? People who celebrate me like I celebrate them. You know what I'm saying? If they don't celebrate me, why I need to celebrate them? These people, if they're family, if they don't, they know I got businesses and stuff. If they don't promote my businesses or whatever, why should I care what's going on in their life? I don't. You know what I'm saying? It's like I need to see something. I am no longer here for that, oh, we're family. Oh, you should do this with family. No, 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 no. Because I'm trusting myself. I'm looking at people's behavior. Forget what people thought, because I'm going to tell you this, and I'm going to end here. And if you got any questions or comments about this topic, not just anything broad, but about this topic, let me know. So I think I told this before, but y'all got to hear this out. This is what I mean by, it's not just always emotional reason how a family, so-called family, can destroy you. It can also be your life can be taken if you don't come to the realization that everybody who's supposed to be family ain't really your family. Like, this was, what year was this? 2004, something like this. I had this old car, maybe it been an Oldsmobile or a Buick or something like that. And I had a family member who worked on on cars. So I needed a battery change, and this family member had a battery. And I didn't know much about cars, but I knew enough to like look at my old battery, and I looked at my battery, looked at the battery that was in the family member hand, and I said, this not the same type of battery. And they're like, oh, but I work on cars, which he did. So I'm believing that he got my best interest in mind over his own. So he was like, no, it'll work, it'll work. And I'm like, you sure? He like, yeah, trust me, I work on cars. Okay. So I bought his battery and paid him to install it in my car. Now, I'm going from Gary, Indiana, driving to Chicago back. This was when I was in grad school. I'm driving back on the highway, and if you know anywhere from Gary to Chicago, it's about a 45-minute drive. So I'm sitting in all this traffic and stuff like that, and my car heating up. I had to pull it over on the side of the road. I think I ended up having to I was close to home, maybe 15 minutes away one day. It turned off on me, and then I had to get it. I called someplace, and thank goodness I had my cell phone on me, and they came and got my car. And the man, it was a white guy who fixed my car, this mechanic. I had never been to him before. He came to me, he said, after about looking at my car, he came to me and he said, ma'am, who's trying to kill you? I ain't making this up. I said, what do you mean, who's trying to kill me? He says, you have let somebody put a battery in your car that is too, I think he said, was it too big? He said, they put a battery in your car that is too big. He said, your car been turning on and off, smoking and doing all this kind of stuff. This ain't the first time. I said, no, it's not. But I said, I've been going back and forth to school, and I've been trying to, not miss any school and trying to deal with it or whatever. But I didn't know what was causing the problems. He said, the problem is your battery. And he said, I'm going to ask you again, who's trying to kill you? I said, I don't know what you mean by asking me who's trying to kill me. I said, my uncle put that battery in. He said, oh, so your uncle is the one that's trying to kill you. And I said, well, why would you say that? And he said, your uncle work on cars. I said, yeah. He said, well, he knew good and well. And I said, and I told him I paid him for it, for his battery and for him to install it. And he says to me, he says, if your uncle work on cars, he knew good and well that this battery was not meant for your car. He was like, so you actually paid him to try to kill you? And I went back, so I actually had to pay this mechanic to get me a new battery, and he put the right battery in, and the problem stopped. It stopped cutting off on me. It stopped smoking. He put the battery in that had actually come in the car when I first bought the car. The same type of battery. And so I finally get in contact with my uncle, and I'm like, and now this, and I'm going to blame myself for this, because this uncle had done some scandalous stuff to me over and over that I had allowed, thinking, oh, he's family, I should forgive him, because I grew up seeing my mother forgive him since I was little. Like my granddaddy had given me some type of special coins, I don't remember. The uncle had come to the house, stole my coins. I had been on drugs for years and had been like stealing from my mother, and constantly, even though she was hecka mean and she treated him, she turned on the narcissist button with him too, but she was always forgiving him. I don't know what it was, because he, what it was about him, but he would steal and do something and go somewhere and live somewhere far away, and he'd come back like nothing happened. He'd come and do it again. He was always doing it, and I was always like, why is she always forgiving him? And then like I had to look at myself later on in life. He started doing that to me, and I started doing the same thing she was doing, constantly forgiving him, and he was never apologizing. He was taking advantage that I was deeply in the church at that time, deeply with the false lying forgiveness doctrine at that time, wanting to be a good Christian. He was pretending to be a Christian and saved and Jesus around me, because he was a master manipulator. So when I finally get my manipulating uncle on the phone, I'm like, I told him what happened with the guy for my car. And he's like, oh, you believe him? You gonna believe some white man over me? And I'm like, why wouldn't I believe him? He put the battery in the car that I had when the one you took out that was bad. And I said, ever since he put the new battery in, I haven't been on the road being stranded and having to get my car towed somewhere. So I said, basically, the proof is in the pudding. He wasn't lying to me, and it didn't matter that he was white. He was telling the truth. That problem ended when he took the bad freaking battery out. And so I told my uncle, I said, I want my dang on money back. And eventually, I believe he did give me the money back. And he was complaining about it, talking about. And then I think something else had happened to my car, and I took it back to later on. So of course, he never admitted to selling me a bad battery. I mean, the wrong type of battery. He did it probably trying to get his drugs or whatever. He didn't care that he put me in a bad situation, even though we were family and I was his niecey and all this stuff. He didn't give a dang about me. I was the only one that was valuing family. He didn't. You know, knew good and well that I was traveling from state to state, in between states, going to school. He didn't care about me. But like I said, I take some responsibility in that. And then maybe a year later or so, I don't know, however much time had passed, probably not even a year, I used to let my uncle do my oil changes, even though he was charging more than the place up the streets who was doing the oil changes. And he talking about, well, I'm doing it, I gotta buy all the stuff, and it's different when you go to a shop and you want to pay the white man to do the oil change, and when I can do it for you, but you don't want to pay family. That manipulation, trying to make me feel bad. But now looking back on it, like, why would I be paying him more money to do my freaking oil change? He didn't even have proper certification to do dang on oil changes and that kind of stuff. But anyway, he found out that I was going to, because I think I needed to get it done, an oil change, and somebody mentioned it in front of him. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm going to get an oil change. Well, why you ain't gonna let me do it? After he had done me dirty with the battery, I stopped letting him touch my car. I'm like, no, you can't change it. But why would you pay the white man? Oh, because the white man wasn't trying to kill me in the car, but you were the black man, my uncle, the black man uncle, though. And then he would get mad. Like, I had a friend who needed work on her car, and he just happened to be around when she was talking about it, and he got mad because she asked me, do I refer him in front of him? And I said no. Why would I refer him? And he want to get mad, talking about, see, to family, we supposed to be family. See, this is what I mean. All that talk about family, 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 it only come up when it helps these freaking manipulators. That's when they want to talk about family. But where was all this family love and care when he was trying to kill me? You see? And this is the kind of stuff, that they would do. But once your eyes get open to see how scandalous some of these people it is, forget if you are mother, father, uncle, auntie, great aunt, great uncle, cousin, sister, brother, whoever you are. If the love is not reciprocated, then you're nothing to me. It don't matter. We grew up in the same grandma house, the same great grandma house. Because no, some of these people are freaking wicked. And all they're doing is trying to get over on us while they continue to be who they are. And there are other family members that's serving as these freaking flying monkeys when you speak up about it. That's not true. They're not treating me like that. And some of them, and I end it here, and some of them I used to think they were all lying when they was like, oh, they don't see it, they don't see the abuse. But what I noticed is that even though a family member may be abusing one person, don't mean that they're abusing everybody in the family. So if the people that's not being abused, for them, family could be everything, because they're not getting the abuse that you get. And especially if the toxic ways they're treating you, if it's done behind closed doors, people, not everybody gonna see that. So these people could actually be telling the truth when they're, some of them, because a lot of them know what's going on for real. But some of them, when they're like, oh, well, auntie don't treat me like that. You say she do this and this to you, but I never see that. And maybe that could be true, but just because they don't see it, that don't mean that the person that's being abused is lying. It's like, that's why can't always go by what other people are saying. Whether they see the abuse or not, it don't matter. What do you know? You know, if you don't appreciate how you're being treated, if all the red flags and alarm signals go off in you about how someone is doing you, that is all authentic. Nobody else should have to come along and say, oh yes, it's the abuse. And I waited for that for years, and that's one reason it took me so long to like go no contact, you know, with my mother and certain other people. Is because I was waiting, because society was so condemning of me when I stood up about, start speaking about the abuse, asking, hey, is this right? Do your parents treat you this way? Does this person in your family treat you this way? Like, is something wrong with me? And nobody else is saying it, speaking up about this kind of stuff. I didn't know about no YouTube channels. I didn't see this kind of stuff. I just felt like I was the only one dealing with this kind of stuff. That's one beauty about YouTube, is that now we see that no, nothing was ever wrong with us. Stuff was wrong with the way that we were abused and treated. That's what was wrong. And YouTube is beautiful because it shows that we can come together as a community and say like, wow, this is not just me. I'm not crazy. There's nothing wrong with me. There was an issue going on called narcissism, toxic families, dysfunctional families, and that was the issue. But when I didn't have that, I was looking for other people to validate my experience. Like, somebody, please tell me this is wrong what they're doing to me. Somebody tell me that I can leave this family and not have to deal with this. But when I went to other family members, I wasn't getting that validation. I was only being invalidated. When I went to friends trying to get validation, I was also being invalidated. So it came upon a time that I started doing my own research, and I found out about narcissism. And to me, it was a God thing, because I remember sitting on my couch where I was sitting at the time thinking, your mother is a narcissist. And I'm arguing with myself. I'm a mental health therapist. I wouldn't know if my mother was a narcissist. Where did this thought come from? My mother, it was loud as day, but in my own head. You know, I'm not saying that God spoke to me outside, so Myra, your mother's a narcissist. Not saying that, but I know for me it was God, because it was clear as day, and it was like not my thought, but it sounded like me. Your mother's a narcissist. I'm like, my mother's a narcissist, and I'm arguing with myself, trying to like, the narcissist is this symptom, this. How does that play out with my mom? And I couldn't see it. I even went to go get my DSM at the time. I'm like, not page with narcissism, this. Grandiosity, lacks empathy, exploitive in relationships. Like, but how does this apply to mother? I found somebody, Sister Renee Patelli, I believe her name is, on YouTube, and I read her articles, and she was a godsend, because I was like, oh wow, it's not, because in the diagnostic manual that we use to make mental health diagnoses, it doesn't always paint a picture of what something is. It'll tell you what the traits are, but it's not, there's like no case studies where it paints a perfect picture of what a narcissistic person actually looks like. I needed a picture painted, and Sister Renee Patelli was the one who painted that picture. And then I started doing other research and started going on YouTube, really learning what narcissism looked like, not just a list of symptoms, what it looked like in real life. And then I was like, oh my God, mother is a narcissist. Like, well, what the heck? And I started hearing about people going no contact, people putting up these boundaries and limited contacts and things like that. And it gave me the strength, because I was like, I'm not alone. It's okay. Like, oh my God, there are people. And at the time, me being weak and needing that validation, I needed for somebody to tell me, Samyra, it's okay for you to go no contact. It's okay to cut off your abusive mother and sister. It is okay to get these cancerous, demonic entities out of your life. And I'm saying that to you, if you feel that you are stuck, and if you are waiting for people to come along to tell you that it's okay for you to set a boundary, to go limited contact, even if you don't want to go fully no contact, you know, no judgment here, that you may just need that for somebody to say it's okay if you told your parent that if they bring up a certain conversation that you're going to hang up and they continue to do it anyway, that it's okay if you say, okay, mom, dad, we've had this conversation, I'm going to hang up now. And if you want to call them a month later or a day later or whatever, but as soon as they get to talking that crazy talk, because they know what they're doing it on purpose to push against your boundary, because narcissists don't like boundaries. They think they're better than you if you're the one that they're targeting. They think that they should do whatever. And a lot of them, these parents, they feel that they spit you out, that you should be grateful to have life. Like my mother would tell me a lot, I gave you life and I'll take your life, and you know, all this kind of stuff. And you would think that I was some bad kid. I was a freaking kid on honor roll, somebody that was scared of her, not talking back. Yeah, maybe I wouldn't wash the dishes all the time unless she come and cuss me out. Then I get up and wash the dishes. I wasn't sneaking out the house. You know, I was not a freaking bad kid at all. But the way she would try to portray me to other people, people would think that I was some bad kid. And she would tell me this. And even though I was scared, at one point I started getting bolder. And I remember the Menendez twins, when they killed their parents, honey, I'm not laughing at that, I'm just laughing at me. She would tell me just out of nowhere, I'll take your life, you know. And I used to say, yeah, and the Menendez twins' parents probably used to tell them the same thing. Because I had got to the point that I was not one that if she had hit me, and she wasn't big on hitting, but once a year she would smack me in my face like for something small. It was just a power play. For once a year she wanted to show she was big and bad bully and want to smack me in the face like for nothing. I tell you, it was like clockwork. Once a year I knew I was going to be smacked in the face like for nothing. But anyway. But I would tell her that, and I knew that, I don't know, I used to think like maybe one day it will come down to me and her, and I was like, I'm not one for disrespecting my parent or nothing like that, but I thought like this woman really think that she has me defeated, and if she tries to kill me, I will walk away victorious. I will definitely walk away victorious, because I had put in my mind that I was going to put all the years of abuse and take it out and be the winner. Because it's like, no, you brought me into this world, but I am God's, and you try to take me out and punk me out in that type of way, your life will end. And that's just totally how I thought about it. Because at the time, I did do this, and I'm not saying that this was right, because these people, they will do all kind of stuff to you in the name of family, and they will think they're getting the better of you. But I was very passive aggressive, and I haven't discussed this on here, I don't think. So this is a reveal. So and get the likes up, guys. It's like 17. It ain't many of y'all in here, but if you're listening and you've been watching, it ain't gonna hurt you to get the likes up. Come on, what are we doing, y'all? Come on. And make sure you share this video. If you want to book a session with me, do that through VisiBook, and you'll see what my fees are to book a session. And also, if you haven't gotten my books, that information is down in the description. You can get my books on Amazon. Ebooks and paperbacks as well. And I've already finished a new book, guys, another novel, and that should be getting sent to the editor sometime next week, so I'm happy about that. But anyway, like I was saying, I was very passive aggressive with my mother. You know, I would get my revenge. Oh, go cook something to eat. Oh, go do this. I'd spit in it. You know, I put extra pepper in it. It was constantly, go get me some water, go get me some water, fix my plate. It's like, okay, I just cooked everything, gotta wash all the dishes and serve. It was like always trying to demean me. Fix my plate. You should be fixing my plate too, and all this kind of stuff. Oh, okay, well, let's see how many times I can spit it in and stir it up in your plate, or spit in your water or your popcorn, or you know what I'm saying? Like, I would always do something, like to mess up the food on purpose. It was like I was always finding a way, like I was always getting some get back in some type of way. And it was like, because at that time it wasn't safe when I was under 18. You know, you couldn't do certain stuff or be smacked or this or shamed. And it was like, well, okay, I figure out a way to protect myself, because like I said, and I started doing this passive aggressive stuff when I realized that there was nothing wrong with me. You know, I don't know, it was a TV show or something that showed me, I don't know, I started getting to that point that, you know, sometimes when you're growing up, your parents can do no wrong, and you think that like, well, something has to be wrong with me, because like this is my mother and they're supposed to love their children, so if they're not showing love, there has to be something wrong with me. But then I started getting older and seeing like, well, no, it's not nothing wrong with me. Something is flawed with this person's thinking, because they would say different stuff to me. It wouldn't make no sense. Like, this is something small, but like I would get cussed out if I would go into the store. She would send me in the store. She would sit down in the car and make me do the shopping. You know, it was always like this slave type of dynamic going on. And so she'd sit in the car and I would have to go do the shopping for our family of four. And so it was like I could never buy any sugar. And even if I was sneaking buy sugar or Kool-Aid, she would go off. But we could have Fruity Pebbles and all these type of cereals with sugar, and I'm like, why we can't buy no sugar, but we got donuts, we buying cakes, pies, cookies, and all this kind of stuff with sugar, but I'm getting cussed out and going off on if I buy some Kool-Aid and sugar. We couldn't have a bag of sugar, and I started thinking like, this person not that smart. I started noticing this is one thing that helped me when I was younger, like, this person ain't that bright. Something wrong with this person. Then like constantly accusing me of stuff that I didn't do, and then later found out because she but I'm gonna say, even the stuff with, even her as dysfunctional as she was, she's dead now, but one thing she did admit, because she would never admit to no wrong, but I'm gonna tell y'all this and I'm not gonna lie, she did admit to always blaming me for stuff I didn't do. And she said it's because she had this big tumor on her head, and she was telling us, this is apparently what she died from, I'm told, but was always saying there was nothing wrong with it, she didn't need to go to the doctor. But apparently one time she went to the doctor and they told her it caused like memory problems. And she said, she called me, and this was, I was in my 30s before I went right before I went no contact, and she said, you know, Sam, just what she called me, she said, I was not gonna tell you this because I knew you was gonna gloat. She said, but you know, all them times you was telling me that I was forgetting stuff and I couldn't remember my name, and I would make fun of her at the time, and like I would take a sheet of paper and write her name by her bed and put it like by her little heater and make a joke and say she couldn't remember stuff, because she would be accusing me like, I told you to do this, and I'm like, no you didn't. And she be like, yes, I did. You just not listening. I'm like, what? She was like, I told you to go get my socks. If it was food, you would have found it. I'd be like, you never told me to do it. And I used to think like she was just trying to be evil with that part. You know, and I have to be careful with this because she was totally a narcissist, and some abuse sympathizers would use this to say, oh, well, now you're saying she had the thing on her head, so shouldn't that mean you should forgive? And that excuses, no, it doesn't excuse narcissism. And the symptoms of narcissism were clearly there, and she met most of the symptoms, and it had nothing to do with a thing on her head. There's nothing that I can find in any literature that links that to narcissism, and she knew how to turn it on and off. The fact that she could turn it on and off lets me know it was not due to that. So abuser, sympathizer, get the hell on. Anyway, back to what I was saying. So yeah, she had told me years later when I was in my 30s, she said, yeah, I knew you were gonna say I told you so, but she said the doctor said that her memory was problems, and she said as soon as she heard that, she remembered me as a teenager telling her that something was wrong. And see, the thing is that these narcissists and these toxic family members, they will try to go in on you, and you will be the despised person, but you the one really sent by God to freaking help these people. Like, if she'd have freaking listened to me when I was telling her this, like at 15, 16, 17, 18, no, she wasn't listening. I was the discarded one. She didn't like me. It was always a problem with me. I wasn't gonna be this. The school, college wouldn't take me. Nobody would love me. Nobody would want me. All this kind of stuff. And I was helping this woman. I was sent to help this freaking woman. Told her all these years ago that something was wrong with her freaking memory. And she always thought I was just trying to laugh. And even when she came and humbled herself and told me the truth, I didn't even laugh at her. And the thing is like they project all this evil onto you. Like, she knew that she would have laughed at me if it was reversed and I came to humble myself in front of her. That's the type of person she was. That wasn't me. So when she told me that, I didn't laugh at her. I didn't say, oh, I told you. I'm telling y'all that. But I didn't tell her, oh, I told you. I didn't make her feel anything bad about her. I asked about her health and what else did the doctor say, like, is anything that they're saying that they should do? Because I wasn't that person. That's who she was. And so it's like, that's why I said now I'm matching energy, because I'm like concerned about people. She had never like shown that type of concern about me. I'm like, well, how are you? Are they doing this for you? What are they saying? Is it cancerous? Is it this? Is it non-cancer? Is it this and this? And where was any of that for me? So that's how it go. So I'm gonna go ahead and end here. Like I said again, for the person who gave my first super chat, I do appreciate you. Go ahead and don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so, and share this video to somebody else that may like this content. I hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm gonna give y'all a second though if you have any questions about this topic. Let's see. BP. Oh, let me look. Good Life said, I have a friend who can relate to what I've experienced. Blessed to find this channel. Thank you for saying that. Blessed to find this channel. I'm happy that this information is resonating with you, and that is a great thing when you are able to find somebody who can actually relate to what you've experienced. And because that was something that I was looking for, and I was unable to find that in a family member or in a friend. It actually came from, like I said, Sister Renee Patelli, then other people that I found online, like Lisa A. Romano, there's Spiritual Whistleblower, there's other people that work in this community, Permission to Exist. There's a lot of different other people who I am very thankful for that I was able to find them, because without them, I probably could have still been in that situation looking for somebody. Please tell me that all this craziness is not natural. And like I said, I wish I'd known years ago. Yeah, rebounder, yeah. Exactly, yeah. I forget the exact channel. I think it's Rebounded from Narcissistic Abuse. Yeah, a lot of people, you know, that in this community. Thank you so much, Angela. Angela said, great live tonight, Samyra. I appreciate you all for hanging in here. And it's like, yeah, but even though it didn't come from family members and friends, I would have liked that, but I have to appreciate where it came from. It came from this beautiful community on YouTube and Facebook that allowed me to see that, oh wow, there are other people going limited or no contact. Oh, there is a community of us. It is okay to do it. You know what I'm saying? Because waiting on validation from people who know you closely, sometimes they may never come. You know, and I was just making myself suffer, putting up with crap and visiting people who didn't care about me, who got rejoiced when they could make me feel like crap. And I'm just putting all this effort and love into them, and these people didn't love me. And I know people say, well, you shouldn't say that. You don't know if your mother loved you. I know what love is, and I know that I didn't have that, and that is totally fine. You know, it's crazy that people will open their mouths and tell you that your mother loved you, your father loved you, this and this loved you, like you're somehow incapable of realizing what love is. Like, I know what my definition is of love. I use the same one as the Bible. I know I'm going to get some of it wrong, but what is that, y'all? I know my Bible people know. Come on, Evelyn, I know you know. Is it 1 Corinthians, is it 13, where it talks about love? Love is caring, it's kind, it's patient, it's gentle. It doesn't bring up recollections of wrongs, you know. It's long-suffering, patient. It's all these kind of things. And when I looked at that, when I found out, when I started reading the Bible, yeah, okay, thank you, Evelyn. I knew you knew. And you know, when I started seeing that, and I started putting the relationships in my life according to 1 Corinthians 13, and I said, wow, this is what I got. Yeah, 1 Corinthians 13, thank you. I'm like, this is not love. What I get is word curses over me. You're never going to get into college. Nobody's ever going to want you. You're fat. You got marks on your skin. Oh, your hair's an ugly brown. Where is that in the Bible as love? And it's so, I don't know the word that I'm looking for, but when people, as I got 18, I told the uncle, the one that tried to kill me, I told him, I said, you know, I had moved out my senior year. My mother let me move out to go stay with my aunt, because I thought that I turned 18, that I could get out of the house, and she had already, I had been telling her when I turned 18 I was moving, but I didn't know that in my city you couldn't move. I was still a senior, because in my city, my birthday is in October, and I had to start school a year late because I missed the cutoff. If my birthday was in September, I could have started school that year of kindergarten. Because it was in October, they made me wait a whole nother year to start school. So I was actually, should have graduated a year in advance. But anyway, but I had told him when I turned 18, when I finally left. So I was 18 um, when I, you know, in a senior. I turned 18 October when school started, like that August. And I had turned 18 and I thought I could leave. And my mother had already known. She was like, oh no, I've already called the police and asked them. And she was like, they told me if you're still a senior in high school, you're considered a runaway, even if you're 18. And I called the police to verify it. And then they even was like, oh, why are you leaving? And I'm like, I learned verbal abuse somehow. Y'all, this was 97. I don't know how I knew verbal abuse. I was like, she's verbally abusing me? They're like, that's nothing. That's not a thing. You just need to do what your mom says and stay. I said, I'm calling to ask, if I leave, will I get in trouble with the police? They're like, yeah. And I'm like, oh, goodness. But anyway, then I got busted for calling because she was looking at the this was when they had the house phone. She was looking at the house phone records and she's like, who called the police in here? Like, why did the house phone, AT&T, why did it have to put 911 was dialed? I mean, AT&T freaking snitches. But anyway, I'm like, I don't know. She knew it was me. But anyway, she got so frustrated. You know, those narcissistic rages. I dare you not want to be abused by me until school is out for your senior year. Get the heck out. You know, so I was allowed to go live with my aunt. And, you know, so I did that. And, oh, well. But when I did that, like the family was in, not all the family, of course, but the ones who knew, they were all like, oh my God, when they would see me, your mom said you left, why would you leave? And I'm like, yeah, she was verbally abusing me in front of all you all for years. And they're all like, oh, you left, why? I was dumb then. I was trying to prove and explain everything to them. The me today probably would have cussed them out, probably for real, and then had to repent later because these people knew what was going on. And then they're like, well, are you going back home? And when your mom died, you're going to miss her. And all these people who act like they ain't see the abuse, but all of a sudden when I left, that's my senior year and I turned 18, all of a sudden, yeah, they all knew what was going on. All of a sudden it's like, oh, bad child, we're disappointed. We like bothering you too and saying slick stuff to you when you come around the house. So now when you come to our homes on the holiday, so now if you thinking you too good to deal with mom's abuse, maybe you may think you too good to deal with our abuse when you come around. Bad girl, go back home and finish getting abused so we can get some private joy knowing that you're being abused. We can live vicariously through your abusive, toxic mammy. These people is crazy. I couldn't believe it. Even when I come around them, they want to keep on bringing it up. Like if I see them like 1 month and don't see them for 3 more months, they ask me, you still ain't going back home yet? When you going back home? And it's so crazy, the ones who want to tell me how I was going to feel when my mama died. I ain't feel that way when she died. This is, like I said, the crazy thing about these people. They want to tell you how you should feel, what you going to feel, how they felt when their mother died. It's like we ain't got the same mother. We ain't got the same type of experience. Had my mother been something different, maybe I would have felt some other way. But even when I think about it, like, she dead. She just dead. She dead. She dead. She dead. You know, I had been no contact with her, let's see, from 2015. I think she died this year, 2022. We were already no contact. It was like in my head, she was dead already in 2015. So I ain't shed one tear. She dead. She's dead. She's dead. These people just knew, oh, you're going to regret it. You're going to regret. I ain't regretted nothing. Why I ain't regretted? Because I knew I was doing what was right for me. If these people never have any consequences, they will never learn that what they are doing is wrong. I am come that they may have consequences. And see, I am come to blow the whistle on this abuse and say there is consequences. And it's so crazy that these dumb people will come to you with all this craziness trying to explain to you about why you should not break free of these toxic people. You know, they want to tell you what's best for you. Like you don't know what's best for you. Like, how grown am I and how dumb do you think I am that I need you to tell me how I'm going to feel, what I'm going to regret, what I need to do. And it's like these people are so full of themselves. It's like they can't even govern their life in a way, in a successful ways, but they want to come and tell you what you should do. And it's like, first off, that's a lot of pride, because did I ask them for their opinions? What made them think I even think they're good people to give me advice? Maybe I looked at their life and don't want to trade. If I don't want to trade lives with someone, I don't want them telling me what I need to do. It's like, I need to know you in a big way before you start telling me all this stuff I need to do with my morals, my religion, and different things of my life. You know, because you could be on the butt, you know, sitting on your butt somewhere, scratching and with fleas on you, and don't do nothing, and ain't got nothing that I consider to be successful. I may not want nothing you got in your life. Then you think, but you gonna come and tell me what I need to do in my life. It's like, who is you? Let me look at your resume. Let me call people you know, because first I need to make sure you ain't no predator. I need to make sure you ain't a freaking narcissist or got other mental health issues that impairs your ability to get along in a peaceful way with other people. I need to do research on you. Don't come telling me what I should do. And that's the same way why sometimes people, YouTube delete some of the comments, y'all. It don't be me deleting y'all comments, because I noticed that, and somebody brought it to my attention, YouTube be deleting some of these comments, and I don't know why. Like, I go to respond and it's like comment gone, you know, and somebody pointed that out, like, why YouTube deleting the comments? I don't know, you know. But I know that sometimes people will come along and say something crazy to me about, like, oh, what I should do on this channel, or oh, try to gaslight me. And it's so crazy, because every now and again I get a narcissist on this channel, and they come and try to pretend like they nice. Then eventually they say something crazy and I block them, because, sweetie, I came under the tutelage of the best narcissist that walked this planet, baby. My mother. Don't play with me. If you come in with your narcissism, it better be a super high level demon you working with, because, baby, my mother, she, baby, put the N in narcissism, baby. I came up under the greatest. So you gotta come on. You gotta play good when you playing with me. The thing is, see, they start off nice, but then they start saying something like, oh, well, you should forgive her because it could have been worse, and maybe your daddy was to blame. And what is your daddy, and where is he? And this, they start doing all that, then showing who they are. Don't play with me, sweetie. If you're gonna be a narcissist, you gotta be top tier, because I came under the best, whoever did it. You gotta be top tier. So I see them, and them people like that I delete, because it's like, no, first of all, your narcissism game ain't even that good. You piss me off, sweetie, because like I said, my mother was one of the best to do it. And then I see you with your narcissism one-on-one, sweetie. My whole life I was groomed from narcissism, from job to job to job. Some of the best demons I have encountered. You can't play with me unless you one of the best. Gotta be the best if you coming. So I get a little upset when some of these that ain't good narcissists come on my channel and try to say something. It's like, bull. Check my pedigree. Check my resume. You gotta come with. You gotta come with it better. You gotta come better with it. Let me see. BP says they don't pay my bills. Plus, I have stopped explaining things a long time ago. Right. I love that. These people, and it's like, that's the problem. And that was one of my greatest problems, was fear of what man would say. Wanting to be liked. Wanting to be seen as a good person. But and I had someone who, when I first started learning about narcissism, Noah Elcreef. I think he's still on YouTube, Noah Elcreef, and he's not a therapist or anything, but he said some stuff that let me know that he would be a good person to get some therapy from. Not everybody has to be an actual therapist with degrees and stuff like that, but I knew that something about him resonated with me, so I talked to him, and he helped me to see that my need to be liked and considered a nice person was causing me to be in situations that were not good for me, causing me a lot of emotional turmoil. But when I could shed those what is it, adjectives or the terms, when I could get rid of being nice, when I no longer cared about being nice, when I no longer cared about that label. That's what helped me to stop justifying myself. It was like, I don't care if you can think I'm mean, it's okay, because I know the truth about myself. I don't need to live by what you think of me. And so once I broke free of needing to be considered nice by people, then I was able to make my decisions and say, look, I don't care what this family member says, what that family member says. I'm going to do what's best for me, because some of them, and I'm going to tell you this, some of them mad because you were bold enough to break away. Some of them pissed at you because they are being abused themselves, and they're going to these holiday parties, they're going spending money on these people, buying them all type of gifts, and they ain't reciprocating, buying them no gifts, no birthday gifts. They ain't buying their kids no Christmas gifts. They're the ones making all the Thanksgiving food and cleaning up after, putting all the money in, and people just coming with a paper plate and some foil to take all the food and wrap it up. Ain't helping you clean up, ain't helping you buy no food, and if they do, it's only a little bit of food, but they leaving with 10, 30 plates. And this may just be for my black people. I don't know if my other races, tell me, let me know in the comments. Not all black people, of course, but some of the toxic ones will come and wrap up all these plates and put foil on them, and they ain't brought nothing to the party but one thing of soda, and they leave with this many plates stacked on top of each other with foil, and they go home and only brought one soda, and they got 20 kids. And you know, no. So it was like, once I decided that enough was enough, it was like, forget all these people. None of them pay my bills. None of them match. They don't matter. They don't. Because a lot of them are toxic, and this is why they pretend they don't see it, because they're toxic themselves. You know? No. And I had to ask myself, these people that's telling me I need to stay in these abusive relationships, how do they profit if I stay dumb? How do they profit if I stay in this dysfunction? Then I started looking deeper. How would this person profit if I stayed in this toxic relationship? How would that person? And then I started seeing stuff. Oh, they're using me too. They're using me too. Oh, if I take off my blinders, they're afraid that I'm going to see they're using me too. And they're not going to be able to keep overstepping my boundaries and controlling me in these relationships. Like I had a friend, like, it was like we'd make plans to do stuff she wanted. Then I'm like, hey, well, we should go here, or we should do this. And every time I wanted to do something I wanted to do, she always couldn't do it. But I always had something else we could do, but that was her plan. Like, for instance, if I'm like, oh, let's go to Chicago and eat here, I'll drive, you know? And she's like, oh, I don't feel like going to Chicago. That's just too far. But, oh, there's this great Chinese place, blah, 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 in the next city over, that's closer, let's do that. Or then I'm like, okay, a few months go past, and I'm like, oh, okay, well, why don't we go and have Thai food over here? And she'll be like, oh, I really don't want Thai food, but oh, I found a great Mexican food restaurant over there. And then I'm like, okay. Then she's like, oh, let's go to the movies. And I'm like, oh, well, what about if we see this? And she's like, oh, I don't really want to see that. Oh, but let's go see this movie. And everybody that we were hanging around, I noticed that everybody was cool with that. And then at one point it started dawning on me, like, what the heck? This person is never doing anything none of us wanted to do. We were all just at her will, everything she wanted. You know, so of course this person was telling me that, oh, all mothers talk to their daughters like that, Samyra. You're just making too much of it, Samyra. Oh, because if I started standing up to mother, then I was going to eventually start standing up to her and say, look, heifer, why we always got to go places you want to go? And then she probably said, that's not true. Oh, yes, it is. Because on this day we went where you wanted. This day, and okay, maybe 2 times, maybe it just happened like that, but then it was that day, then it was this day, this one. Hey, you can't deny that. That's 6 times. I wrote them all down. It's true. Oh, don't tell me it's a lie. Oh no, do I need to go over the dates again? We did all the stuff you wanted, so no. Then this same person, years and years after I finally stopped talking to my mom, every time we're on the phone, oh, did you talk to your mom? I'm like, I told you I went no contact. And then the next call with this same friend, oh, have you talked to your sister? Again, I told you I went no contact. Next call, oh, how is your mom? I'm still no contact. Oh, you know, I just thought that you were going to start talking to them again. I'm like, well, what part of no contact didn't you understand? I've explained it now 10 times. Then this same person, after me knowing her for 20 years or so, tells me one day out of nowhere, Samyra, you know, you just happen to stay around in situations way longer than you should, like in jobs or with friends or with anything like that. You just stay around like way longer and put up with a lot of stuff. And I was floored. I'm like, this person for years I was tell about different friendships, whatever it was going on, jobs, stuff like that, real toxic, asking this person because I didn't trust myself, what do you think, should I stay with this, stay in this, and they're always like, oh, you're just making too much of it. But then after 20 something years of knowing them, just out of nowhere, it's like, you stay in stuff way too long. And I didn't say anything, but I thought about that, and that's one of the reasons I ended the relationship. So if you're watching this and you want to know why I stopped calling you, this is why. Because I just totally ghosted that individual. I'm like, so this person, I guess gaslighting is what it's called, had been gaslighting me for all these years. And I had been coming to this person about all this crazy toxicity about every aspect of my life. And they had been telling me that I was making too much of it. But then all of a sudden. And I started to ask that person at another time, like, well, could you be specific in which issues you're talking about that I stay too long, way too long in? Because I've been talking to you about all these issues for over 20 years and you've never agreed with how I felt bad about it. I mean, how I felt bad about certain people and things and wanted to end it. You always encouraged me to stay. So could you tell me which of those out of these 20 years are you talking about specifically? Because we've discussed all this and some of them repeatedly. Crazy stuff. This is why I say sometimes these people, they get over, you know, they're wanting to abuse you. So this is why I say I'm always side-eyeing, even my clients as well, the people that know their histories and know of the abuse and trying to get them to stay. Why? How do they benefit? How does this help them in any way? Angela says, I had an aunt that did that. I had to quit inviting her to food events. Yeah, because if we never put our foot down on this and say, look, you're not wanted because you're doing A, B, and C. You continue to do A, B, and C, then you have to go. And the problem with some people in this community is that they hear about boundaries, but they don't enforce the boundaries. Like, I could talk to clients or anything and people will tell me, well, I have a boundary, I have a boundary. I'm like, your boundary means nothing unless you are enforcing that boundary. So what if you tell somebody, oh, you can't just come over to my house unannounced? And the person may be like, I keep telling this person, don't come to my house unannounced. And I say, okay, well, what do you do when they show up? Oh, I open the door and let them come in and they stay as long as they want. Then I'm like, okay, well, you don't enforce the boundary. So to them, it means that boundary means nothing. A boundary that is not enforced is, to me, it's not even a boundary. It's not a boundary. You're not putting up any walls. Someone that's putting up a wall, somebody come to your door and they're not invited and your rule is they need to give you advance notice. Having a boundary means you let them know through the door. You may not even open it. And you ignore the knocks. They're knocking, they're blowing up your phone, they're texting you. You ignore all that because you've already had this conversation with them that this is not what you tolerate. Your boundary, you let them know what it is you like versus what you do not like, and you let them know what will be the consequence if they go against what you've told them. And you have to stand on that, just like you would do with a kid. You have to stand on that. If you don't enforce it, it means your boundary is nothing. It means what you said you don't even believe. It's looked at as weakness, and people will continue to trample all over you because you are not enforcing what you claim is a boundary. But if you ain't enforcing it, you ain't set up a boundary. You done set up something you thought would be nice in your head, but you ain't enforced that thing, so it don't mean nothing. So you got to stand on that thing, you know. And it's the same, like these family members, I look at it like this, and this is my thing now, and I don't expect to have any of them coming to me saying nothing anymore, because people know where I stand. They've watched these videos if they say they do or don't. And I know that because only like 2 people reached out to me when my mother died, and they knew my mother had died. And the reason I know they didn't reach out for me is because I made a video about my reaction to her dying, and I said I didn't want people to reach out to me. And I know good and well they watched that video because they honored that. It was only like 2 people that actually reached out to say something, because I'm on Facebook with them all, and I tell you, when I say they ain't say nothing on my page, they ain't say nothing to me, and that let me know like, oh, people quiet, but they watching my channel, they watch it. Hey family. But like I say, and I keep on saying, I remind me of church. I said I'm gonna get off on here a long time ago, and that was gonna be the last thing. And I said like 50 other things. But truthfully, like I said, my advice is to you is this: these people who want to come to you and tell you about these family members and close friends who know the trauma you experienced, they want to make you feel bad. Just tell them, hey, when they come to you and tell you what you should be doing with your parent, like you dumb, like you don't have enough cognitive functioning to know how you should be treating your family, your sisters and brothers, aunties and uncles and everything, and you know these people know the hell you went through, just tell them honestly. Even if you scared and your stomach shaking and got butterflies in it, you scared what they gonna think about you. They not gonna think you nice. I tell you, like Joyce Meyer say, you better do it afraid, because sometimes you're gonna be scared when you gotta be bold. You ain't gonna always feel brave. If you waiting to feel brave before you do something bold, you probably ain't gonna never do nothing bold, honey. You're gonna probably have to do it afraid while you're shaking and trembling, and tell them people, you know how you ignored when they were cussing me out and wishing word curses on me and slapping me upside the head? You know how you ignored that? You ain't even gotta wait for them to respond. Just let them know, well, ignore how I'm handling the abuse, the trauma that I'm experiencing. Yeah, ignore that. Just like you ignored everything else, ignore this. Mind your business like you want to mind your business when they was cussing me out, talking about me, calling me crazy and doing all that kind of stuff. Ignore this too. So don't be bold and want to speak up now. Oh, you want to say something here? Oh, well, bring me a recording or a live video of you standing up to the abusers in the family, the dysfunctional heathens that's been doing this for years and years, because ain't nobody bold enough to say stop. I need to have you on video standing up to them, calling them out on all that kind of crazy stuff and telling them to stop, that we will not tolerate this in our family anymore. They will be excommunicated if they keep doing it. Now, once you do that, then you bring it back to me as proof, then maybe we can have a conversation. Maybe. I'm not giving you any promises, but I need to see you stand on something before you come over here trying to tell me what I need to do. And just, you know, and like I had that one toxic one in my family who wanted to be the narcissist saver hoe, whatever he wanted to go about, or whatever he was, trying to tell me or something like, oh no, I'm going to talk to your sisters too, and I'm going to tell them, and no. I don't need you to tell me what you're going to do. I need proof in video format or recording that you talked to them and said something to them and called them out and said before you come to me. And then even just because they could do that and come to me still don't mean that I'm going to say that I gotta justify nothing to this person or say anything to this person. I just want to see if they're gonna be about something that they claim they're gonna be about. Because again, like somebody said, they don't pay no freaking bills over this way, but think they got something to say about something. Can't even run their own life, and they got something to say. I'm just reading the comments. Says, LOL, that's why 15 people are watching, but just a few interacting. Oh, you said a few. What do you mean, just a few interacting? Those not interacting are her family. I see what you said. Oh yeah, look, I'm gonna tell you this. Somebody had reached out to me and was like, oh, Samyra, you know, the person I'm referring to as the narcissist saver hoe. After I had blocked him from social media, because I was mad at myself because I had justified myself to him, even after knowing all I know about narcissism, but I fell back into that, and I was mad at myself too. And then it was like, plus he ignored all the abuse for years and then want to come around trying to justify narcissism. And then he had done it before when I went home some years ago, you know, my sister apparently had told him about some stuff that was going on with our little part of the family. And I don't even know what she told him, because I was in California, they were all the way in Indiana. And apparently, I don't know what she could have told him, that I didn't call my mother for her birthdays and didn't call on Mother's Day all the time. But that's the only thing I could have known. She told him, and so he like, oh yeah, y'all need to fix that, and you're the therapist, and you need to fix this. He just telling, I'm like, I hadn't seen him like 10 years. Me and him had never been close like that. To me, he was always cool, a cool older cousin who I would only see like once every 5 years. And it would only be like a, hey, how you doing? Oh, good, cuz. Okay, love you, cuz. And that's it. You know, so I'm like, there was no rapport. This is how narcissistic some of these family members are. That they don't develop no rapport with you, and they just come out of the blue. Ain't seen you 10, 12 years, and they know all your business, because the toxic ones running back, telling lies, telling some truth mixed with lies, and saying all this stuff about you. I'm all the way in California. My family all in the Midwest, and he talking to me about my life. And I'm like, what the heck is going on? You know, so after this last time, when my mother when they found out she was dying, and he called me, and I'm like, okay, look, I didn't like the energy, and I'm like, okay, he did this back in 2011, now he doing it in 2022. I'm like, look, I don't even know him like that. Let me end this. I blocked him on social media. I want nothing to do with it. Then someone else ends up coming and tell me, talking about some, oh, you know, it got back to him, what you said about on your video. I don't care if it got back to him what it said on my video, you know what I'm saying? But see, that let me know that people be listening, then they be telling you it got back to somebody, and they probably be the one that put something back. So that's how I knew people was watching my video. But so I don't care. And the beautiful thing now is that it's monetized now. So even though I've been doing this for 3 years, it's finally gotten monetized. So people, if they family members, if they want to feel a way about the video, thank you. You're causing the monetization, the little money to go up or whatever, and I appreciate you for that. You know what I'm saying? And I think I look at it like this. I tell people this, is that I do not promote victimhood in my life or anybody else's. If you find a way to make money and make a living, especially as high as gas is and other stuff is, off of what you endured, you go ahead and do that. Because I tell you this, I told my mother when I was young, when I found out, who was that? Eminem came out, he was talking crazy about his mother. I think I was in college, and I was still in contact though with my mother. I would call her, and she was still, you know, being toxic on the phone and all kind of stuff. And I said, you know, one day I'm gonna make money off the things you did to me. I said, I'm gonna tell the world and get paid for it. And you know, I was just talking, but look at how God brings things to pass. And it's like, wow, now the YouTube channel is actually monetized. People book sessions with me because of my experience, not only in mental health, but I can also relate because I was raised and groomed by some of the best narcissists. So I know what I'm talking about from a mental health perspective, and not so much from narcissism, from mental health, but just knowing how to do therapy and just dealing with the aftermath of narcissism. I don't think, you know, it's good to know about narcissism as a therapist, but really I think you should be a therapist that's going to be dealing with how the narcissism abuse affected the person, meaning the symptoms, what PTSD symptoms, anxiety, depression, whatever, you know, that's where the therapy should actually focus after the person is done venting about the narcissism and being validated for what they've experienced, because a lot of us needed that validation, you know. But yeah, so if you can write a book, write your book. You know, nobody can tell you what to do about the pain that you've experienced. You know what I'm saying? I live in California, honey, so I'm gonna make a way to bring my income in however I'm gonna bring it in. Because if somebody got a problem with me monetizing, sweetie, if you don't pay the LA bills, don't tell me don't monetize my channel. Don't tell me what to do with my pain, because I've experienced it for over 30-something years from a whole myriad of different situations of narcissism. So I tell you, what I've done, I will not be a victim, but I tell you, I will make money off of it, because I ain't gotta lie, honey, because the truth is better than fiction. when you have overcome and survived narcissism. So I tell you, I'm going to do what I'm going to do with it. And ain't nobody going to tell me to shut up about it. I'm going to do what I want to do. Maybe, and I put narcissism in my books, my fiction books. Some of my characters have traits of it. Why? Because I grew up under the best narcissism. I can write them. I can write them good because they were in my head for years. I know what they sound like. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, no, honey, do what you can do. If you got, and it's not just my videos, if you sharing videos like this to people you know who may have suffered stuff like this, liking the video, commenting, sharing your story in a way that you feel safe with doing, all of that is bringing light, because a lot of it with this narcissism, it was able to grow to this big beautiful, not big beautiful tree, this big old healthy tree. It seems like, you know, where birds come and nest and all kind of stuff. All your toxic family nest right in it. Why? Because nobody was exposing this. But when we come along and we start exposing the truthfulness behind this stuff, I think we are doing God's work. It's like, no, y'all been thriving because y'all been in what is that? I'm trying to look for it. Y'all been in darkness. I'm here, see? They've been in darkness and it was thriving, but we come to tell the truth and turn the light, shed light on this stuff that they wanted us to shut up about it. So, I don't know. So, I hope that answered that, why it's so hard. I'll just sum it up. The reason that it's so hard to break free of these narcissistic relationships, because you believe these people had your best interest in mind, especially if they were family. You thought a mother or father is supposed to love. They're supposed to respect. An aunt is supposed to do this. That's what makes it hard, because what you believe people are supposed to do. You know? Also because of what we hear in this, our toxic family members told us. And what we've been hearing on TV, blood is thicker than water. Family is all you got. That may be true for some people, but in these dysfunctional environments, that's not always true. It's not true. It ain't. I've had people who don't even know me, strangers, treat me better than some so-called family member. So that's not always true. It could be true for some. If it's true for you, then you're lucky. Also, let's see. Yeah, and then even loving these people, because, you know, something is abnormal about these people, these dysfunctional family members, but you come up where you're loving them because you know that you all share the same blood. Somebody told you that's what you were supposed to do, and you're giving your all to these people, and you finally wake up one day and you see they ain't giving you your all. You know, you the one doing all this work. So that kind of stuff, why it makes it so hard to break away, and nothing is wrong with you. Even if you're 82 years old and still alive and you just broke away from your family member this year, I still applaud you. Job well done, because there's so many people who have not broken away. And a lot of these family members, they resent you because they wish they were as bold as you. They want to break away. They can't stand some of these family members, but they too scared to break away. And I'm not saying that to be mean, because I was scared to break away for years. You say you give them your all and it's never good, right? They're selfish, entitled people. What you give to them is never enough. You know, but like I said, a lot of these family members, they don't want to deal with these abusive people. They mad at you and they want to force you to come to the family barbecue because they're not bold enough to not go. They don't even want to go to that family barbecue. But they hate what Auntie Susie and Uncle Jimmy gonna say about them. So now they want to be pissed at you because now you think you better than me. I'm enduring the abuse. I don't want to go, but now you trying to be better than me. Who you think you is to break away from it? And I'm still going every year. That's why some of them mad at you. You know, they in situations they don't like. They still dealing with that auntie that's gossiping and backbiting behind everybody back, borrowing money, ain't paying the money back. They still going through all that, and they mad at you because, oh, you think you too good to endure the abuse. You couldn't just shut up like them, and then dealing with all the health problems that come with all this crazy stuff of enduring abuse over years. Oh, you wouldn't shut up. Or they mad at you because they feel like they wanted to abuse you and get over on you too, and you done broke away from the family. Oh, you exposed this lies of the family, and now everybody know your family just as toxic as the one down the street. And that's how it go. I thank you all for listening. Again, if you haven't liked this video, go ahead and like it and subscribe to this channel. Have a good day.